How's it going, Song of Ice and Fire fans? Grant from EAGT Miniatures here, bringing you the live list reveal for East Anglian Grand Tournament 2025. And I'm joined by my good friend Teemu, but we should start the show with a special mention. It's your birthday, man, so happy birthday. I've got myself a whiskey.
Thank you, thank
We're
you.
celebrating style.
Cheers. I have tea. Maybe a whiskey later.
Awesome, awesome. How's things, man? How's life in Finland?
Life is pretty good in Finland as always. Could be a bit warmer, so good to hear that it's warm in UK because I'll be coming there next week.
Mate,
So
you can have our heat, you can have it, take it. I don't want it anymore, it's just too much.
fair enough, fair enough.
Awesome, awesome. So obviously we're here, mate, to do the East Anglian Grand Tournament live list reveal. So thank you so much for jumping on with me and to discuss these lists. We've had a little sneaky peek, haven't we? And we've got some cool things we're going to go through. So let's start then, I guess, with the stat side of stuff, shall we?
Sure.
So first, what we'll do is we'll lock the tournament. So I'll go down here and we'll lock the tournament. So now all the lists have been revealed to everybody. Lots of Teemu love in the chat, man. Wishing you happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks, mates. Hi, hello, Dan. Hello, Brian. And special big thanks for Brian for all the tips for what to see in Scotland.
Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Keeps dropping us out on the cameras. It's first I've done live list for the cameras, so it might be my inexperience. So look, we're gonna come back on. Come back on. Maybe it'll work. What's that?
Now the lists are now open.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's jump into the stats side of stuff. So I think it's really, really cool. One of the things that we see here is that sorry, I'm still mucking about with these camera stuff to try and get this working for us. No, let's split the screen off. I'm doing well here. Hold on, bear with me. Bear with me.
Yeah, I guess we lost the video.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're back.
Yeah, you got it. Right. Oh, we might lose us permanently. Oh, no, we seem to be there. It's hard to tell, isn't it, really? Right. Anyway, let's get stuck into these. Let's into these.
Sure.
See this. Can you see the stream? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So the stats. So ordinarily we would expect neutral to be the lowest taken, picked faction, but it's not this time round. Do you want to go over these stats? What you think of these stats?
Yeah, quite surprising actually that the Greyjoys are the smallest faction because they're doing pretty well at the moment in the power rankings. Okay, yeah, they're the second now, but they've been on the top three for quite a while. So which one actually is Lannister and which one is Brotherhood?
I think the
I would imagine
Lannister's
13.
higher.
Yeah, because there's so many Lannister players, but yeah, I think still it's a pretty nice spread of factions and quite a few Bolton players. So it's not only Dan, it's other maniacs too. Crazy bastards with a lot of courage, obviously. But yeah, I am surprised to see Martels and Greyjoy so low. Otherwise, pretty normal numbers. Boltons and neutrals obviously higher than usual, and it seems that like in the previous seasons, free folk were like non-existent, not much seen, but now they're clearly coming back with Mac the Mighty and Lord of Bones.
Yeah. I think we're going to keep losing me and you in the video, but I'll crack on anyway. Yeah, I mean, I expected more Brotherhood, to be honest with you. I expected us to be in the newest faction and people getting to enjoy them a little bit more. I was expecting a bit more of them. Expecting more Targaryens. 12% is still quite high, but I was expecting a much larger chunk going to one faction. But it's
Indeed.
It's really surprising to just see the 3% of the Greyjoys. That's what was the biggest shocker to me after locking the lists. I was really expecting to be quite a few of them.
if I would join the tournament, I'd be happy because Greyjoys are my nemesis. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, cool. Okay, sweet. I mean, if you look at the commander side of things, 6 Beric Dondarrions, 6 Magna 6 Rob, and it's down to the forwards, which is Roose, Stillshanks, Catelyn Stark, Eddard. Um, so yeah, it's some big pick commanders, but yeah, we don't see the Khal Drogo too high up. I expected to see more of him. Only 3 choices there.
exactly, only three. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then again, it is a big spread of different commanders. So I think that is saying a lot about the balance of the game.
Mhm.
That back in the days when like half of the list was Mass Raider,
Yeah.
which was rather boring. So this is a nice spread anyway. Um, can you see like how many different commanders altogether are listed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite a few. Oh, there's so many with one appearance too.
Yeah.
There must be 40 different commanders, which is quite amazing.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and there's some nice little choices we don't see too often as well, like the Outrider Commander Brendan, Dawn Noy Commander as well. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's nice. It's a really nice spread. Loads of different commanders. I think maybe this is a sign of people trying new things to try and get
Yes, yes,
to grips with this season 6 update. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. What I saw from the material you shared in advance is that there seems to be a split. The other half, or I don't know if it's a half, but part of players are clearly testing out new kinds of things, which is showing that the season 6 like update is still quite fresh, and that's how I feel it too. And then we see a lot of lists with a lot of spam,
Hmm.
with repetitive units, quite typical attachments. So we have kind of both ends of the spectrum showing in the lists.
Yeah, definitely.
It,
Okay.
it will be quite interesting to see that one thing that is obviously showing as well, that quite a lot of two NCU lists. So I'm really keen to see the final results. That how did the two NCU lists, for example, did they make it to the top 10,
Hmm.
or is the meta still more towards three NCUs?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Well, let's get into the list then. So first up, we have Brian McGonigal, a man who's given you a map of Scotland to visit in your travels.
Indeed.
We've got a Rob Stark commander list. Um,
Yeah, both lists.
yeah, both lists. Yeah. So obviously again,
And
it's
does the
go
does
ahead,
the
mate.
other list have two or three NCUs?
The second list. So yeah, but both lists got 2
Both.
NCUs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I'll go back to the top. So it's quite an interesting list. You know, we've got the Tully Cavaliers. We're waiting for Gardens. It's pretty standard for Stark stuff, right? Um,
Hmm.
the Outriders of Brendan Tully try and make the most of ambush, I guess. Um, Rob Stark and cast like a loyalist. Don't see that too much. What do you think the thinking is behind that?
No, never seen that before. Um, he has quite a few units. Well, Starks have a lot of units that hit on 4+, and I guess with Rob's retreat cards, you get to charge more often, which is needed when you're hitting with the 4+.
Yeah.
Um, of course, I guess we would need to. Karstark loyalists are like the few units Starks have with vicious,
Yeah.
and some token generation.
Yeah. Brian's
It,
at,
it it would take a little bit longer to sort of figure out what is the plan with this list. Now it looks a little bit all over the place, but I think Brian is known for experimenting.
yeah. Well, he's actually in the chat and he's saying that one's offensive, one's defensive, and he's struggling to learn Starks at the minute. So I guess he's just put it
Okay,
together some lists to have a bit of a play, I guess.
yeah, the second list is clearly a defensive, and Rob doesn't have any. Well, of course they have assault orders in the basic deck, which is a zone replace.
Yeah.
So if I would play strongly on a zone replace cards, I would have three NCUs because then it basically means that you replace a zone with assault orders, which means you can only take one other zone to heal or whatever you do. Um, Not a list I would build, but let's see.
Hmm.
And I've been tempted to play House Tully Sworn Shields because they've been improved in many patches,
Yeah.
but still you don't really see them because they don't fit the Stark play style. So this is definitely out of the box kind of list. Let's see how it works.
Yep.
Is that second list? Is it 8 activations
Yeah. One, two.
with the two wolves? Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, 8 activations. Yeah. Yeah.
So six field units. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Was quite interesting. We're seeing Great Number quite a bit now as the attachment rather
Yeah.
than the commander. Obviously, he's always been a nice attachment, but when you're looking to
Mm,
spend points and attachments, I think he's a decent choice, isn't he?
he is. What I was surprised browsing through a couple of the stock lists that I didn't see the Karstark 2 point attachment, or is he one point nowadays? Rickard Karstark on Berserkers, because I think he is a great fit for Berserkers, bringing thundering, and I think he has the Stark Fury, which kind of gives nice bonuses. Okay, you might end up losing some wounds, but the Berserkers don't really mind that. So
Yeah.
surprised not to see him.
Yeah. 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 Someone's just put in one of the messages that Rhaenyra is in someone's list. Well, we'll be checking the list. If that is in there, we'll be booted straight out because he's not running that. Um, apparently he's not though. All right, we'll go through it.
Hmm
We'll spot it if it is. Um,
So he's commenting that he doesn't have any plan.
awesome.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We can stop analyzing that list. There's no plan.
Yeah, yeah, good old Brian. Cool. Um, okay, next up we have Rid running Brotherhood about banners. Um, obviously, it's one of your specialty armies, isn't it, Teemu?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so we see Catelyn in Baratheon
Have
Halberdiers.
played them a lot this year. Yeah. In quite a few lists, one can see that people have been watching the faction overviews
Yeah,
and listening to those tips. And I think Baratheon Halberdiers was one unit I did recommend for Caitlin. Um, I think Hot Pie is a pretty stable on ranged units
yeah,
with Brotherhood. Mm, Swan Knight's always good.
yeah.
Which Enzius does she have there?
Ghost of
Yeah,
Ironheart,
pretty
Ravella,
good.
and Peter.
Yeah, Thoros with peasants doesn't really make much sense because peasants hit so badly. So what the hell do you do with relentless?
Yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Unless they're banking on there being some mileage on gang up maybe, but
Hmm
we'll
How many points does he have on attachments altogether?
he has um, one, two,
One,
three, four,
two, three,
five.
four, five. 5 points.
Yeah,
Well, it's still free
yeah,
with Brotherhood. They get 5 points.
yeah,
But I would have maybe rather had the one free neutral point, obviously bringing one of the seekers with the knights.
yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
I think this is a good example of people trying out things. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
why not? Why not?
Second list is Beric Dondarrion, the a man you state to be quite heavily OP in the faction overview.
Yeah, at least he's not with Kingsman now.
Yeah. So we have Beric in Men at Arms, Breath and Halberdiers of Forest, um, Swan Knights, Peasant
Yeah,
Levy, yeah, Peasant Levy Hot Pie, and the same suite of NCUs. Seems like our list is doing
there's no
pretty much
there,
similar.
there's no ranged unit in that list at all,
Mm,
which is maybe a little bit surprising. But yeah, 5 units on the field and I guess 3 NCUs or 2.
Yeah.
I think with the total list choices must be 3 NCUs.
Yeah. Do you think the sort of the style of this list is to sit on objectives, maybe objectives holding list with the halberdiers and the 2 units of peasant levy?
Yeah, and then you have the taunt, and then you have the knights probably doing like most of the killing. Beric too, and of course with Edric Dane you can also use assault orders to charge.
Yeah.
So I think halberdiers are pretty okay when they get to charge, and there's still 5 movements.
Yeah.
So if you get to charge with your assault orders, and then I think the opponent is facing a dilemma that if they strike back, armor 3 and relentless. So that can be a kind of a pretty strong denial unit with the taunt as well, because you would never want to charge these guys.
Yeah.
Because of relentless and really good defense. So if they then charge into you with assault orders, then I think the opponents really doesn't have very good choices. If they retreat, these guys will charge again or taunt or whatever, and yeah, that could be nasty. I think this is interesting interesting experiment here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, so let's chuck on to the next one then. So Robert Grant running Night's Watch. Jon Snow and Range Hunters. Was a bit of a plague back in the day,
Classic.
but not so bad nowadays, but still a good combo.
Mm-hmm.
Alistair Thorne in Vets. Corin Halfhand in Swarm Brothers. 2 NCUs again.
Nowadays you see Satin in every list, mostly the one bringing Dauntless. Nightwatch obviously being a faction that benefits from having actually 2 different cavalry attachment, both the Watch Marshal and Cold Hands, which is kind of leading into Cold Hands not being the solo version in every list. But yeah, this looks, I think Cold Hands solo and veterans are always a good combination. Once again, a very bad idea to charge into.
Yeah.
Brotherhood was the Swan brothers. Whom were they with in
Corin
the list?
Halfhand. So Battle Scarred.
Don't exactly remember what he does. Yeah, battle. Oh yeah, battle.
And go down fighting.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I saw some other lists too, which were like giving the Swan brothers rerolls, but obviously they typically don't need it. So I guess you get, but they do need the highest attack value because they drop to 5 attacks when they lose 1 rank. So that makes sense, of course.
Yeah.
Keeps them going.
How do you feel about Night's Watch in season 6? How do you think they're sort of they're keeping pace with the rest of the factions?
They've always had excellent attachments, but their list building previously didn't support taking too many attachments because most of the units were 7 points. So I think it has opened the list building a lot. I haven't played them for maybe a couple of years. I guess since the deck got nerfed, because it hasn't felt motivating to play them. But I played them in the Polish Nationals 2.5 years ago with some success. But well, there's been new armies coming out like the Brotherhood, so
yeah,
I'm playing too many armies, I guess. So no time for the Brothers in Black at the moment.
there's no such thing as playing too many armies. No such thing. Cool.
Surprised not to see Dolores Ed because he's amazing. He's really really good.
Yeah, yeah.
I played a local friend who was running Nightwatch, and he did a very good combo there with Dolores Ed and Jon Snow's cards. So he removed 4 wounds to heal someone to lose a rank from the Dolorous Ed unit, and then he immediately gained the first token for Dolorous Ed, and then he just healed them back with Aemon, and very soon that unit was very effective. So there is new tech now with Night's Watch. These attachments being improved or reworked, and of course with the free attachment points.
Yeah. And free NCUs in the second list as well. So we're back onto the free NCU thing.
War Machine Specialist, but okay, obviously he doesn't help any war machines. he just shoots quite a bit. Typically, you see that 5-point Othriarvik with some war machines, because then you can really shoot the enemy from the distance, and they just have to close in, because otherwise you just bombard them from the orbit, and they're basically in trouble. But no war machines here.
Yeah. I think, if memory serves me, someone's got a couple of a list with 2 stone throws in it. So maybe they've got all the Night's Watch war machines.
Yeah. So that would be pretty scary.
Cool. Okay, let's get into
face.
Let's get our second Stark player up. So we've got a Rob Stark list again. Berserkers with a Credible Survivalist. It's the first time we see the Credible Survivalist. I don't think Brian's list had them in, but most Stark lists nowadays tend to have at least one of these guys.
Most lists have them. Yeah, they are. It's such a big value that they can ignore the.
Oh, we lost you. You there?
Your rerolls, and you can go through different terrains, and of course, put the stakes on the objective, and the classic thing. That is a very, very strong attachment, and Starks have pretty aggressive infantry units. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah. Again, the classic Tally Cavaliers, Winterfell Guardian. Wouldn't be a Stark army without that combo. Sworn Sword Captain Stark Sworn Swords. It's not something we see too often nowadays.
Yeah. Sworn Sword Captain is still a kind of a question mark in my mind, because Starks have a lot of tactics cards that compete with the same trigger as the order from the captain. So
awesome.
Maybe not the best choice.
And Eddard Stark in Eddard's Honor Guard is a great 6-point unit with the Credible Survivalist. Berserkers Winterfell Champion.
That's very good.
Yeah, Berserkers Winterfell Champion, a Credible Survivalist. Ravagers with Brendan and Tully giving them outflank. Again, Tully Cavaliers, Winterfell Guardian, pretty standard stuff. And then your friends to use Catelyn, Sands, and Roderick.
I think this is a pretty good list.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I think this is this list has got definite legs on it. Do you want to talk us through your thoughts on that?
I agree. Yeah, I think this is a stronger list than what we saw previously from Starks. It has pretty good movement, and with Berserkers, the Winter World Champion actually both aggression with his critical blow, and when they charge, they give out the weaken token.
Yeah.
So which is a defensive thing. So the opponent might end up in a situation that they are facing very angry berserkers. They're weakened, so they're basically in trouble.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Eddard's cards, you can be quite aggressive. So additional attacks as well, and I think he had one of the NCUs has tokens to give rerolls. Roderick Castle can give rerolls. So berserkers with crit blow, obviously Caitlyn giving them highest attack die value. that can be pretty. Are they like 9 attacks with crit blows and rerolls? So that's pretty strong,
Yeah.
especially with low armor opponents. And then of course you have the Tali Cavaliers and Umber Ravagers with Sundering to go after high armor enemies.
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty strong list.
Yeah, definitely. I like this list. I might have to give this list a try at some point. Cool. Then we have our first Lannister list from Yasir. So we have a Tyrion list with the crossbows, a Champion of Faith and Poor Fellows, Mountain Rides, Adam Arbrand in Red Cloaks, Jamie Lannister and Castle of Honor Guard with 3 NCUs, Cersei, Joffrey and Roose Bolton with a turncoat. We seem to see quite a lot of turncoats now. It's a really good way for Lannisters just to burn those extra attachment
Yes,
points.
yes, indeed. I think Lannisters are one of the factions with the good situation because they have both the cavalry attachments available, and then they have the enemy attachment. So they are guaranteed to be able to use all the 4 points, no problem.
Yeah,
Adam Marbrand is definitely a stable with the Red Cloaks, getting one more panic test from Sentinel Order, so that's pretty good. And Jamie, is that the one Jamie that has Martial Provus? I guess it is.
yeah,
So you get Jamie creates a token and gets rerolls. So you're guaranteed to have one token on the enemy. You're guaranteed to already have rerolls. So you can really benefit from the other options that the Castle Rock Honor Guard has.
yeah,
I think that's a pretty strong combo.
yeah. The Castle Honor Guard are just such a good unit nowadays. For 7 points, I think they're probably one of the better 7 point units in the or 7 point infantry units in the game. The second list, Mountain,
Strong.
Red Cloaks. Again, the Castle Honor Guard was Sandor, Knights Castle Rock with a Butcher, Clegane Brigands with a Butcher, with
Yeah, I saw this list earlier, and I think Gregor should obviously be in the Caster Rock Honor Guard
yeah,
because Red Cloaks is not a really it's not really a unit that you want to actually engage. They just want to run around and cause those panic checks.
yeah,
So I think Gregor is in the wrong place, but otherwise a decent list.
yeah. And again, that Turncloak sitting there. Um,
And many of those units can use assault orders to charge, so that's strong.
yeah. I mean, I think they're one of the factions that really benefit from the attachment points. They can still run the cavalry units with their in faction attachments. With Fuel by Slaughter was a good ability to have on any unit really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, so that's a nice list. Joffrey in both lists. Do you think there'll be a time when we see Lannister list with no Joffrey?
Well, if you have red cloaks, you need to have Joffrey, and of course,
Yeah.
Joffrey is very good for quite a few of Lannister cards. So
Yeah.
why not?
Cool. Then we have our first Greyjoy list. Um,
So how many Greyjoy players there were? Only like a
two, I think.
handful,
I think two.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Look. One, two.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Only two Greyjoy players.
okay. So
So on.
they have
So yeah. So the person that's got the Rhaenyra in their list is you, Teemu. You can't not turn up to the tournament and cheat.
I can tell you I'm not coming yet.
Nice, nice. Okay, yeah. So yeah, only two graduate players though. Obviously
Uh,
Victorian being one of the lists. Um,
sure.
so yeah, we've got Victorian in Iron Victory Crew, which is a solid choice. Newton Science Men, again a great choice, especially for the use of assault orders. Unborn Reavers, Dagmar, Household of Reapers with Warsworn to give you even more healing. And Drowned Men with Roderick
Hmm.
Windermere, Eric Armmaker. That's a pretty solid Greyjoy list, really. It's hard to go wrong with Greyjoys, really, but it's quite a very aggressive
Yeah,
Greyjoy list.
I think when you're playing these, when you're playing these units and these attachments, like every Greyjoy list is pretty good. Is this optimal? Maybe not. What I'm kind of missing from this list is the Asha attachment, bringing Sentinel and Gang Up, which is extremely good for 1 point, and Greyjoys get 1 point resilience with the down prophet attachments. So I would include one in every list.
Yeah.
So that especially with Gang Up, you can tie an enemy unit with the resilience, and then you can come in with those sentinels and your assault orders, obviously from Victarion. So you can really gang up on enemies, and that will lead to death and destruction quite fast. So, but yeah, it's still a strong list.
Yeah, definitely.
I recently started painting Greyjoys because so I need to join them.
Yeah, Greyjoy's a good one. I love Greyjoys. And the second list is a more defensive-ish list. It's still not very defensive, but I can see that the idea behind it is to be a more defensive list with Asher in Iron Makers, Baelor Black Tide
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Chosen,
Yeah,
Dagmar Cleftjaw in Iron Reavers
like they've
again.
chosen creating the sort of Iron Resolve bubble, and the Drownman obviously healing in the background. So that can be Greyjoys can be hard to kill in the end. Does it have Balon? It doesn't have Balon.
No Baelor, no.
Neither of the lists had Balon.
Yeah, outside the box, mate.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think some people have been because
Same three NCUs.
yeah. I mean, the second list I Eric because when the bags are being sort of nipped, they're sort of getting fired around all the pillage tokens, aren't they? But
Yeah.
yeah. See, I didn't think the 6 point was going to change the pick of Balon, but quite a few people have seemed to suggest that it actually might. So
Me neither.
yeah, but maybe it is. Maybe people
Well,
are
wouldn't
struggling
you
with the
like to
point.
play with? Yeah. So now they're playing with equal size list than as other players instead of having extra 7 points.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not leaving home without Balon. So the next Greyjoy list, let's see if he's in here. So we've got a very similar type list. So we've got 2 units of Iron Victory Crew, one with Victorian Commander, one with Newt. So I should say this is Nicholas Keys, leads Kingsguard. Stoneshore Pillages with Dagmar Cleftjaw, Ironborn Reavers with
There
Drowned
was he.
Prophet. Go ahead, Matt, go ahead.
There was he, the Drowned Prophet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now he makes an appearance, and Asha Greyjoy makes an appearance. So this is a strong list.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
with Balon.
With Balon, yeah. So yeah, when we had Mikkel on talking Greyjoys, he was saying that basically that you need Asher Greyjoy as an attachment to basically combat enemy cavalry, right?
Yeah,
it's only a
I
reactive piece
agree.
they've got.
And with Iron Makers, they just keep on coming with Asha, and it is really scary.
And the second list, we had Baelor Black Tide. So really, it's the classic combo, really, isn't it? Of the Victorian and Baelor 2-list format. Iron Makers of Baelor.
Yeah, Iron Makers to the last, so quite unkillable.
Yeah. Iron Victory Crew with
What is surprising, he has Victarion 2 points. Yeah, Victarion 2 points, but no, he doesn't have Mokoro attachment to bring supply aid.
Yeah.
Because Mokoro would be cheaper with that version of Victarion. So.
Yeah.
But then again, there's 2 Drowned Prophets, so that's a very survivable list for sure.
Yeah. And it's Balon into you again, but this time Baron instead of Aaron. What's your opinion on Baron? Because like Mikkel didn't rate him that highly, but we've seen like quite a lot of good players running. What's your thoughts on Baron Black Tide?
So he brings hardened, and does he bring rerolls to panic tests?
Hardened and rerolls, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a kind of a topping on top with all of the above drowned prophets and Baylor bringing to the last. So this list is really doubling up on survivability. So and Stony Shore guys are also very survivable. So
Nice.
maybe Aaron Dump here could have been a good choice too as an NCU.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I think that seems like a annoying survivable list, hard to kill.
Yeah. Let's just dip into the chat, see who's talking. There's been loads of comments coming in. Is there room for Carl in the Asher list? Strange, he hasn't been added. I'm not sure. So look. Oh, that was the last list, wasn't it? Asher list.
He was there. He was there in the previous list. Yeah, not in this list, but
Ah, okay,
some
right.
other one with the Asha attachments.
2, 3. Yeah, he's only spent 3 points attachments, I think. 1, 2, 3. So he could have had Carl as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Know your lists. Carly's saying that
Yes.
Carl's on holiday. He definitely is. Next up, we have Tom Sims. So this is our first free folk list. Tom's been recently playing Starks. It's nice to see him go back to free folk. He was good with free folk. We've got the Rattle Shirt Commander in Bone was chosen. Bear Riders, Spearwives, Skin Changer, and
Hmm.
Jarl. Fen Warriors, Borak.
This is, I think, a typical Lord of Bones list, and they seem quite similar with tens and also now the bear cavalry is making a lot more appearances because if you can combine the defensive card from from the commander, the bear riders come really unkillable because they will have armor 3 and you cannot expend vulnerable tokens.
Hmm.
So that is the scary composition for sure.
Yeah.
So I think this is a pretty strong list.
Second list is Mag list.
And
Now we spoke about this prior to going on stream. There's quite a few monster mash lists in this tournament, this run, right?
yeah, and I think every one of them had at least 2 giant spear throwers. So that's probably the most spammed unit in the whole tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, I might have to do a drinking game on a Sunday for every giant spear thrower to take a shot of tequila.
Yeah. So Lance Cow will be shaken.
Mm.
I guess this could be a kind of a meta shaking list that well like we were discussing cavalry earlier. So cavalry is obviously strong, but you see a lot of lists like this, and you have Mac and you have the giant spear throwers who don't give a anything about your 3-up armor save. So
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's still a non-activation list.
Yeah. Which makes it hard to play like 7 activation landscape list against this because you need to commit and then there are things coming in from the free folk. I think free folk are certainly coming back now.
Yeah.
And the lists are now quite different because obviously they used to be rider spam with adaptive, now obviously not so valuable because you get the attachment without adaptive. So I think we see quite a new kind of which is very nice.
Hmm. Awesome. Um, okay. Next up we have Dan G. Um,
Yeah,
the
let's
most
go
the most
Boltons.
G of all Danist. So we have Roos list and a Stillshanks list. So we've got Roos in Black Guards, Glory Seeker, Flayed Men, another unit of Black Guards with Ramsey and Theon, Drift Archers with Stillshanks Bolton, with 3 NCUs.
And that Dan is definitely following his own guidance, which he should.
Yeah, yeah. I did wonder if
So,
it just
so here we have
go ahead.
here we can see the two copies of horrific visage with intimidating presence, and of course loads of panic tokens around. So that is a scary prospect. And what I said to you before we went live is that many of the Bolton's list still need the glory seekers with flayed man, which is, I think this is a good example of Bolton finding it very hard, actually impossible, to benefit from all the free attachments they could use. So, for example, in this list, okay, Ramsey is 2 points. What else is there for Bolton attachments?
Yeah. Still Shanks, Relentless Soldier.
So there's none of the bastard boys, which the first would be free. So he has used like 3 out of 5 or 6 free attachment points. So go down, but I think this is still a okay and a good list, but clearly showing that Boltons are not the winners of season 6 update.
Yeah. I mean, Dan's a great player, so we can't count him out of potentially finishing quite high in this tournament.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm. And I think that's a good idea to have kind of Cheney Pool twice
yeah.
with Chuck and copying it, because you will be shooting into close combat,
Yeah.
and you want to cause more panic tests
Yeah.
with intimidating presence, and there's plenty of that.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Same thing here. Only two attachment points used out of the three
Yeah.
points.
Yeah. I mean, they hinted that basically the Boltons were going to get patched a little bit with the last update, but it seemed to have. I think the attachment points has sort of crippled them a little bit. I think they're in a better place overall. Dan seems to be
Mm-hmm.
really positive. I don't play him too much, so I can't really have much of opinion on it. But Dan seems to be quite positive about it. But I definitely think that the lack of love towards attachments is going to be quite tough for him.
Yeah,
And then yeah, 3 NCUs, Roos, Varys, and Shay. It's the first time we see Shay.
that's a lot of potential panic test.
Yeah, yeah. The first time we see
Rules
Shay.
and Lord Varys can certainly, yeah, cause a lot of additional panic tests. And once again, with the flayed man bringing the intimidating presence, so
Hmm.
scary.
Yeah.
Let's see how it succeeds.
We have Joe Karen from the Chelsea Bunker running Targaryen. So first Targaryen list. So let's see how this looks. We've got Jorah Mormont, Westerosi Tactician, being
Mm-hmm,
Bloody
mm-hmm.
Mama's Horse Riders. Obviously, I think the plan there being the fainting maneuver. Um, the Fraki Outriders with Kofo, Fets with Recaro, Screamers. Yeah, it's the Blood Rider list, isn't it? So nothing can become weakened other than the Horse Riders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not much to say really. Is it's your standard Dothraki Blood Rider list, and yeah, we does well. We know it does well.
yeah, and Choras has pretty decent cards for cavalry.
Mm,
Um, both of the NCUs are replace. They have replace options. Yeah. Then again, you don't really need Daenerys to remove token, because you can't be weakened in the first place. Mm, interesting list. Is it seven activations or 8?
right, the stream is frozen. 2 secs. Let me try and get this sorted out because people can't see what's going on. Yeah, 2 secs, guys. Let me try and put this right for you. It's frozen. The Boltons. Can you all still hear us? Okay, it's not completely frozen, is it? Um, 2 seconds. Try and work this out.
There's some breakage in the audio, at least.
Okay. You can hear us fine. Okay. Yeah. Let me just try and work on this visual for you guys. 2 seconds. Trying to, trying it this way. Did you just want to talk through some of the stuff that's Teemu while I'm sorting this out? Have you still? Can you still see the list your side? Oh, Teemu, you there?
I'm now seeing the Dothraki list
Okay, brilliant. Okay, yeah, just
with Illyria and Miri.
yeah, let's just we drop in the window. It wouldn't be a EAGT thing if we didn't have some sort of technical difficulties. It's what we do best. Right, guys. So hopefully that is better, and you can now see that. Give us a shout in the chat. You were also seeing Dothraki. Yep, cool, cool. That's good. We're in the right place in. Right, let's carry on. Let's lock that in. I wonder if that will help with mine of your video.
Keep calm and carry on.
Keep calm and carry on, mate. Exactly right. Right, let's just drop us out because we can't see us anyway. So if I drop that, I hope it might take some pressure off the stream.
So should we shut down the video?
Yeah, I've shut it down on the thing, but yeah, if we shut down on here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that?
Okay, now there's another Targaryen list with Unsullied.
You can see that, okay? Is that on the stream, okay,
Yeah.
as well? Yeah. Yeah, perfect, lovely. Right.
Yep.
So about
Yep.
that, guys.
Grey
We're
Worm.
all back. Right. So Grey Worm. Another commander we don't see too often. What are your thoughts on Grey Worm? Are you seeing him much in
Sure.
your local meta, or?
The last two games of Song I played have both been with Grey Worm. Managed to win with him as well. He has good cards, and it's surprising that he's so low ranked. Then again, if you look at the power rankings of Targaryen units, both Unsullied units are quite down in the bottom, or the last two units actually. So I'd love them to be better and to perform better. They really aren't performing. But yeah, we see a lot of Unsullied officers, and I would definitely take an Unsullied officer with Unsullied swordmasters. So that's a pretty strong combo. Always rerolling, relentless. And which NCUs do we have here? We have Illyrio, and I think there was
Missandei.
Missandei and Varus. So I guess Missandei goes to find the battle endurance.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I'll be pitching for it. Is to grab that.
Yeah. And of course the pikeman and veterans are both pretty good targets for battle endurance.
Yeah. Again, it's a couple of
The Unsullied swordmasters don't really need it.
Yeah. Well, it's just another list that can't become weakened because it can't spend the weakened on the unsullied attacks. You can't use it on Ricaro or Kofo, so it goes to.
Correct.
Yeah. It's quite a very obvious playstyle for Targaryens now. It's just denying weaken because obviously Tanikin's a very powerful token.
Yeah.
Um,
Indeed, that's a very strong asset for Targaryens.
yeah.
They've been up and down on the power ranking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Targaryens lately, and it's been a lot of fun testing out different things.
Awesome. Then we have Stephen M from the Hornchurch Heroes running Night's Watch. So we have Cotter Pike and Vets. So it's odd combo. I don't know really. Would you think that combo does that work for you?
Yeah, I've seen it around, and I think the veterans obviously being a unit you don't really want to be engaged with, and with the cutter pike they just come at you,
Mm.
and there's not much you can do to stop them. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And then you have Ranger Vanguard and Ranger Hunters to come in and support them with enough movement speed to keep up with Cutter's mad rush.
Yeah, yeah,
And with the Shadows over Spearman and Edison Tollett, you have another really good combo you don't want to charge in. So
mm.
I think you can really make a good sort of a defensive wall with those two units, and then you have the cavalry and the ranger hunters hitting your flanks, with obviously the vanguard having the improved ambush and everything. I think this is a very strong list with exactly the right NCUs. This is really strong.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it'd be nice to see what Night's Watch competing on top tables. As you mentioned earlier, I think that the problem's been for a while that the deck is when it was nerfed, it was really sort of orbital strike nerfed, and I think
Yeah,
I think it was a step in the right direction, but I think it was probably maybe not a step, but more maybe a sort of like a large jump in the right direction, but missing the mark that it should have been on. Um, yeah,
yeah. It was quite surprising because many other changes they've done have been really small steps, really delicate changes,
yeah,
and that was such a big move. So so it will take a while for them to come back from it. Nothing wrong with Night Watch units, excellent attachments, pretty good NCUs. So all of that is fine,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the deck feels meh. It still feels meh.
yeah, yeah. Um,
But this is a strong list anyhow.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And we have Benjamin Stark as a commander as well. Some we don't see too often, but it's really nice. Again, um, we spoke about it during the Brotherhood stuff, and we obviously speak offline. But being massive fans of the IP as well, it's really good to see Benjamin Stark used more because I'm really, as a character, I really like him. Probably because I really enjoy playing
Hmm.
Starks. And it's where playing Starks in Night's Watch. But um, yeah, it's a it's a nice. I would say this list is a very nice, well-rounded list. It's got a bit of defense, it's got a bit of offense, it's got lots of
Hmm.
maneuverability, um, and some good NCUs with
Yes.
Eamon, Dennis, and Donald. So, what's your opinion on this? What do you think of this?
Yeah, like you say, it's an all-around list
Mm,
with very good movement. Two units with range capabilities, even if it's short range.
yeah,
Um, Jon Snow 2 points. That also brings a reckless heroism, so that gives them a nice reach. And yeah, strong. I think this is pretty strong list. I think this might suffer against very heavily armored enemies because it doesn't have any sundering in
yeah,
it at all.
yeah.
So that's maybe a weakness.
Lots of token play, isn't there? Like you've got Jon Snow's got Warcry. You've got the two Watch Marshals doing adaptive planning. You've got the
Ambush,
yeah Ranger trackers with Mark Target.
mark target. Yep, for
And
sure. And so there is Lannister also giving out tokens.
yeah. Um, Yeah, so maybe that's the idea on the list is to push the token play and sort of keep catching your opponent
Mm.
off guard with it. Be interesting to see this list plays during the weekend.
I think this unit might work quite decently with the special mission
Hmm,
game modes,
yeah,
with Ranger Vanguard having outflank as well, and Aemon and Donalnoy making them actually quite defensive, quite good in surviving.
yeah,
Yep, interesting list. I think more tech based than some of the others. But yeah, probably a skilled pilot will do well with this.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Then we have our Alex Hayes from the Cryptic Cabin, our first Baratheon list. We have our first we need to check. Is it the no? He's gone for both Renly sides, so not he hasn't gone for the Stannis Renly split. So we've got Renly, charismatic hairing crossbowman, Stag Knights with Courtney Penrose, Rose Knight with the Thornwatch Sentinel, giving them the old school Rose Knight pain in the bum rules. Thornwatch with Parman Crane. What's Parman Crane do? Rally Cry. Okay, nice. With Alistair, Olenna, and Lord Varys. Olenna,
Yeah.
a fantastic NCU.
Indeed. What we clearly see, kind of a meta shift with Baratheon is that previously Courtney Penrose NCU was like really, really popular. And now with the Might of the Throne, we see a lot of Courtney Penrose commander and attachment, which are both very, very strong. Bringing in tactical reposition and the Might of the Throne is, and Stag Knights being as scary as they can be, starting from round 3 and onwards, that is a real threat.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
I honestly believe, I think that.
What I might play with Rose Knight.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I might play with Rose Knights. Who's the guy who brings reckless strikes to cause some wounds on themselves as well to
Yeah,
start the heal and deal?
yeah. He's one of the
Is
Rainbow
it
Brothers.
Robert Royce?
That's it, Robo Royce. It is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that might be a good attachment to Rose Knights as well.
Yeah. I think Courtney Penrose is really good for Stag Knights.
And of course, Barman.
I think we've got a delay going on. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
think that
is. It is.
he's good for them because
Yeah.
the biggest thing with Stag Knights are they're easy, and Rose Knights to be fair, they're easy to avoid, like because if you just avoid fighting them, just go and beat the rest of your army up. But with that 3-inch shift and the Might of the Iron Throne, and also it's worth mentioning as well that
Yeah.
Courtney comes down by a point when you're taking Renly, so he's actually only costing 1 point in this list build, which is
True.
cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. And
Um,
that's a huge value at 1 point.
yeah. It makes the Stag Knights
And I
really worrying.
also like the Tornwatch and yeah, I like the Tornwatch and Parman Grain combo because Parman Grain heals others, and then when they retreat, they heal themselves.
Yeah,
So it works both ways.
that's nice. And the second list, Courtney Penrose as a commander in Sentinels. Again, bringing the Might of the Iron Throne, bookkeeping. Halberdiers a Guy Morrigan. Guy Morrigan got Counter-Strike and Dauntless. Thornwatch with Sandor, giving out some weakened tokens. Riders of High Guard. I love Riders of High Guard now. I think they're great for 6 points. Really punchy unit. Stag Knights with Bronn. Alistair and Lord Varys, 2 NCUs, as you mentioned at the start. Quite a few 2
Yeah,
NCU lists.
yeah. This is surprising with 2 neutral attachments.
Yeah.
And we only have 1 like native Baratheon attachment? Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird that you skip using 3 free points and instead you pay for 2 attachments.
Yeah.
They are pretty good attachments, no argument there. But yeah, Bronn can make Stag Knights pretty strong.
Yeah.
But not an optimal list, I would say, obviously.
Yeah. If you're going to spend a point on neutral attachment, you might
Because
as well take the
this is
glory
like a
seeker.
5-point swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a 5-point swing paying for 2 neutral attachments and not taking 3 points worth of free attachments.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pay a point for a neutral attachment, you might as well take the Glory Seeker and the Riders of High Garden, right?
True.
Let me.
I think the weekend from Sander Kane is meant for Giard Morgan, who has Counter Strike. So
Yeah.
there's a synergy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next list. So we've got Chris Tamplin running Night's Watch. Chris has been running Greyjoys quite a lot recently, so it's strange that he's gone for Night's Watch this time. But yeah, he is a good Night's Watch player, so we'll see what he's running. So we're running Cutter Pike with Swarm Brothers, Watch Captain, Swarm Brothers, 2 units of Ranger Vanguards, 1 with Cold Hands, 1 with Watch Marshal, Aemon, Sir Dennis, and Donald Noy. That's quite a nice list. Lots of support, lots of aggression. What do you think of this
This
list?
is aggressive. Yeah, Cold Hands Former Crow brings Sentinel. Watch Captain has Relentless. Cotter Pike can charge with Assault Orders. So this is a really, really aggressive list indeed.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, and Watch Captain also works quite well with Swarm Brothers because he gives them boldness and courage, which they really need.
Yeah.
With the dropping stat line on attacks. Yeah, makes sense. No range at all. Which NCUs does he have on this one?
He has Aemon, Sir Dennis, and Donald Noy.
That's a pretty standard NCU suit there.
Hmm.
Yeah, Donald Noy keeps them alive. So Dennis Mallister, yep, also pretty good. Maybe not so much needed in this list
Yeah.
because those units generate enough tokens anyway,
Yeah.
most likely, and the Ranger Vanguards should get rerolls from charging, and Swan Brothers get rerolls from their order. So maybe some other NCU besides Sir Dennis could work here as well.
Yeah. Would you,
But
would,
yeah, that's still a pretty okay list.
would you expected to see Offal Yarrick maybe as an NCU?
Yeah, that could work. But he's 5 points, so that
Yeah.
would need to make a change
Yeah.
to the list. So at 5 points, he would not fit.
Oh,
Well,
well,
here we have some war machines then with
yeah.
with
So yeah, we're getting a bit of lag
this is
on
scary.
we're getting a bit of lag on your audio there, man. Do us a favour. Can you just try
Audio.
jumping out
Yeah,
and
I
coming in
noticed.
again?
I noticed. But sorry, come again.
So you try just jumping out of the Discord and jumping back in again. See if that works. That just restarts it a little bit.
Sure, sure. I can do that.
You back? Are you back? We seem to have lost Teemu.
Okay, am I back now?
You back now? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wicked. That's not so bad. I think that's sort of the delay out. Wicked. Okay, we'll crack on then. Yeah. So Offal Yarrick, Commander in Shadow Tower Spearman with 2 units, 2 Builder Scorpions and Vanguard. So yeah, here are the War Machines. What we thinking?
Indeed. Yeah, I think this is a good example of a list that you can just put the Shadow Tower Spearman with Othel, walk to the central objective and survive, while also providing rerolls to 12 inches from Shadow Tower Spearman, and then you would have rerolls for your Scorpions. And if somebody starts to come too close to the Scorpions, you have the Ranger Vanguard and there was one more unit below that can sort of counter any enemy who try to destroy the war machines.
Yeah.
So that should work nicely. Cold Hands, of course, also bringing Sentinel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to try this list. It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
It certainly has potential.
Yeah. Awesome.
Walder Frey, what do we think about Walder Frey?
Yeah, I'm not sure there. I don't know what the idea behind that is. Maybe it's stealing the first turn and taking another shot with the bolt throwers. It doesn't. Mm,
Yeah,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that. I think the potential is better into use for the list than Walder Frey. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
yeah, there is of course some aggressive potential there that could indeed be. It could be a game-winning move to steal the first turn on a critical point.
Yeah.
Yeah, another two NCU list, and of course, Nightwatch has pretty good NCUs. Mm, so only one like native Nightwatch NCUs is quite surprising, and one NCU from Nightwatch is that we don't see is Corin Halfhand NCU,
Yeah.
whom could also tip the scales on a critical point. But
Yeah.
yeah, interesting to see how well does this list does in the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. Cool. Next up, we have Small Free Folk from Steve. Um, another monster mash list. This time we see a mammoth.
Yeah,
He's being brave.
yeah, indeed,
What do you
a
think of
bit
mammoth?
variation. Haven't faced them, so no real experience on how they are performing.
Yeah.
I think they were a little bit buffed now in with for season 6.
Yeah.
Was it that they can re-roll their charge distances and all that? But
Yeah. Yeah. That's. Did they get? I think that's all they got, wasn't it? Just the reroll charge. That's all they got as a buff in the new season.
mm, mm, mm.
Um, but again, two
7 attacks,
spear throwers.
4+. Yeah, does Mac have a card to give them like extra charges? I think yeah, Mac at least has a card that instead of Mac performing an attack, you could chieftain's orders. You
Yeah.
could have another unit perform one action, which can of course be a charge too. So I guess that could be the idea here. But I would really rarely see a situation that Mac would not like to activate himself.
Max Smash.
Because exactly, Mac is the strongest model in this list anyway. So why would you want to replace it?
Yeah.
Maybe in a situation where this list is like holding back in the back line and just chucking out those giant spears, and there the Mac adds a one more attack to one of the giant spear throwers, which is kind of forcing once again forcing the enemy come to you, and
Yeah.
then you have Mac, and then you have the mammoth and the savage giant to charge in. So
Yeah.
that could be the idea here.
Yeah. Lady Val was an NCU, Ygritte and Mance. So Ygritte giving you more movement, Lady Val giving you more movement, and Mance giving you more tokens. Oh, no more cards, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think those NCUs would really make it easier for the mammoth
Yeah.
to get to do the charge, even on round one,
Yeah. Yeah.
if the opponent isn't observing that situation.
I really like this list. I mean, interested to see how this does the
Hmm.
weekend because out of all the monster mash lists, having the mammoth as well, um, and the savage giant. I quite like the savage giant in the new rules. Um, and the two giant spear throwers and Sten's user. It seems like a nice list. So I'll be interested to see how that does over the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty decent.
And then next we
And then
have. Go on, go on.
yeah, once again, quite typical rattle shirt list with the frozen shore bear riders, with the ten warriors. I think the only kind of this is the attachments on this list are not maybe your standard things, but otherwise very typical Lord of Bones list.
Yeah.
How many attachment points are we using on this list?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points in total. One of them is
So yeah,
raiders, so 4. Yeah.
yeah. So then it's standard 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Jarl and the Weeper and
What does the Beeper give? At least vicious and
Grizzly example. So they suffer a hit and all enemies at range become panicked.
I guess the idea with that unit is that they would get a rear or at least a flank charge.
Yeah.
To get the benefits from those abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the factions that have attachment that ignore attachment limits are also on a strong side. So
Yeah.
Yar, we see a lot of Yar nowadays. Yeah, it also creates the mind game during the deployment that is this unit will it become from the outflank, and then you can just deploy it normally. But yeah, if one, I think the spearwise will still die very fast.
Yeah.
So you cannot deploy them from outflank against an enemy with cavalry, for example. So, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's an option.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Lady Darren's here as well. It's nice. It's nice we see her being run out.
Yeah, bit variation
Mm.
because Lady Val and Cluster are quite stable ones.
Mm. Did he have Crash and Lot? No. So yeah. So it's quite a. Other than Lady Val, he's got a nice varied NCU suite as well.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's a decent one.
Right, so before we go into next list, how are we doing in the chat? How are we feeling about some of these lists? Any favourites so far? Any favourites for you so far, Teemu?
Mm, on the top of my mind, some of the Night Witch lists were pretty good.
Yeah.
I wasn't overexcited about what we saw from Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I'm also keen to see how does Mac the Mighty do with 6 appearances
Yeah.
being very common commander. So that's interesting to see. And of course, I think also the Greyjoy lists were pretty decent.
Yeah. Carly's saying in the chat that Danji's one to look out for at the weekend.
Hmm. Let's see one of the Martel lists. We haven't seen any Martel lists yet.
Yeah. Should we skip forward? I'll tell
Yeah.
you what. But before we go, jump straight forward. We've got. Let's just quickly scan over Angus. So Angus has got just a quite a heavy R'hllor list here.
Yeah. This is a lot of new tech looking at the Stannis loyalty list. I
Yeah.
think Axel is excellent with
Mhm.
Kingsman. I think Axel also brings auto 6 charge
Yeah.
with Fiery charge card. Brian makes Wardens very defensive. And I think there were several lists now with the Rill of Faithful and the Red Priest,
Yeah.
which is still a pretty or is now especially good combo. So I'm happy to see the Rill of Faithful now
Yeah.
making appearances because I used to not see them at all.
Yeah.
And here we have Dario with Rose Knights causing some wounds on themselves. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, yeah. The Loris obviously a very strong pick. 2, it's Rose Knights. Obviously, someone's not out to make no friends, but yeah, a really nice looking combo there. Nice to see the Stannis and Renly split as a 2 because a lot of people sort of veer away from having two of the
Yeah.
two brothers, but I actually really think it's a decent
Mm.
tournament play
And
style to run two.
considering Dario there instead of Robert Royce,
Yeah,
both bring reckless heroism, but Dario also brings Dauntless, which is one more heal and deal.
yeah.
So I think this is real value here. I
Nice.
think this player certainly wants to roll a couple of ones
Yeah,
because that will get the engine going. And yes, like you said, we see Stag Knights with Courtney Penrose. This is a scary list for sure.
yeah, definitely. Right, shall we delve into the unknown? Let's go into the neutral list. We've got a neutral list here. So,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
so Carly
Carly.
running, yeah, Carly running neutrals. Dario and Roose Bolton. Um, Again, we'll go back to what I said at the start, Timo. It's crazy to think that. Hold on, what's that? I've got an alarm going. 2 seconds. Let me mute this and try and work out where that alarm's going from.
Okay.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. I'm back. That was just a random alarm going off in
Okay.
the office. But yeah, so yeah. Next up we have the neutrals. Carly, Ryan Dyer in Golden Company Swords, Stormcrow Dervishes with Rouge. Mate, Rouge. We don't see Rouge at all. It's so nice to see these new attachments running up. Somebody's calling me up, so I
Yeah.
apologise.
No worries. The
Yeah,
funny thing is that he has Rouge, but no biter.
yeah,
And biter is pretty good with gang up because
yeah,
this is okay. Elusive escape, of course, great synergy with dervishes who
yeah,
certainly retreat easily.
yeah. Theme is a theme. Going for Dario. Stormcrow
Hmm.
mercenaries, Ramsey and Reek. I think that's a massive thing for neutrals now. They get that 2 point Ramsey alongside Bolton's for that for
Yeah,
0 points. It's a great attachment for 2 points. Great combo.
yeah. And I see also the synergy with Dario's Reckless Strikes Tactics card, so you can give the War Elephant critical blow
Hmm.
because no armor saves, so that can be a scary prospect too.
And the Golden Company War Elephant. We like elephants. Uh,
Well, they're funny.
two NCUs, Peter and Lord Varys. Um, yeah, I quite like this list. There's no range in it, but it'd be nice to see it run out. Stormcrow Dervishes, I still think are one of the best models in some of the best models in the entire game, and it'd be nice to see them run out. Um,
Yeah, 5 points in attachment.
hmm. Kylie's saying that Ramsey is there for the token generation. Elephant is
Yeah,
in there for the paint competition. Yeah, fair play.
yeah. I think Carly is known for his experimentalist, and this certainly has potential.
Yeah. Second list, Roose Bolton in Blackguards. You got the Bolton Flair in Cutthroats, two
Hmm.
Bolton Flairs in Cutthroats. Glory Seeker in Zorch Riders, another Glory Seeker in Zorch Riders. Um, nice, great.
This is very interesting tech. I've tried something quite similar once or twice that where you can really get this panic death ball bumping around from all those spread fear orders.
Yeah,
So that could be pretty devastating.
yeah,
And I kind of like Bloody Mummer Zor's riders. They are actually a pretty good unit, and Glory Seeker certainly helps them to survive.
yeah,
The game I played last night, the Bloody Mummer Zor's riders with battle endurance, they killed like 3 units, and they were clearly the unit that won me the game. So they can be really really scary.
yeah, yeah. It's nice to see neutrals being run out, and Peter Baelish, Lord Varys, and Shayer's SU. So a
Um,
pretty
ma- ma-
strong.
yeah, makes sense to have at least one list with 3 NCUs
Yeah,
out of in the 2 list format. How many activations? I think this is also 8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 activations. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just
So the black card can really anchor things, and then you have 4 aggressive units charging in. So
yeah,
I kind of like it.
yeah, yeah. Um, cool. Some nice list there from the neutrals. We'll quickly scan with Dean Rothwell because Dean's obviously a big staple in some of our tournaments. So he's got Jorah Mormont. So we've seen Jorah Mormont Commander run out more than Khal Drogo, which is
This is
interesting.
the second list now with Jorah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, again, running the Hago in bottom flaming. Obviously, Dean leaning heavily into the theme here.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But
I
yeah.
would still put Rakaro in veterans and
Hmm.
have the commander in screamers and something. But yeah, this could work. This could definitely work. And of course, Bolton Flademan with Fuel by Slaughter is
Yeah.
a good combo.
Yeah.
And what you always do is you give out the weekend token for Flademan because they have critical blow when they charge, but no weakened tokens. So
Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah, yeah. Miriam Esdor, Varys, and Kaif as NCUs. Second list, Queen of Marine. I love Queen of Marine. I think she's a really solid choice. He
Hmm.
comes in blackguards, obviously making the most out of that in intimidating presence,
Indeed.
and threaten. Drogon. First time we see a dragon though, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
Um,
This is deadly. This is deadly because you don't want to charge,
anything.
you know, Daenerys. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't want to charge anything because it will be bad for you. And I think this army would like just more march towards you, and you can only run so far on a 48 times 48-inch battlefield.
Yeah.
Eventually they will corner you, and then the slaughter begins. And I
Yeah.
guess obviously the only threat to this army list is a lot of shooting, but
Yeah.
then you have the dragon for that, and you have Miri weakening them.
Yeah.
So yeah, this I think this is a strong one.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Definitely. Do you think you Do you think I wonder if maybe Tycho might have been a good choice for an NCU, just a bit tweak and get him in there just to make sure the dragon stays alive as long as possible.
Yeah, you
Um,
very often see Tycho with the dragon lists,
yeah.
but then you have in this one you have Miri giving that one wound of trickle healing. You have Lord Varus also potentially healing. You have Selmy maybe denying stuff from units attacking the dragon.
Yeah.
So it has defensive tech indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't need to throw out the dragon. You can wait with the dragon and move forward with these other units. And unless there is a shooting unit you really need to catch.
Yeah. I mean, I would say this is probably one of the stronger two list pairings we've seen so far. It's got a really solid
Yeah,
defensive list and one really aggressive list as well.
I would agree. I would agree indeed.
Well done, Dean, if you're listening, if you're in the chat. Um, Paul Whitner. So I'm interested to hear some of your thoughts on these lists. Right. Jaime Lannister in gold cloaks, and then 3 units of red cloaks with 2 of the veterans, one Adam Marbrand, and Poor Fellows for Champion of Faith with Joffrey, Cersei, and the High Sparrow. That is a lot of panic test, right?
That is a lot of panic test. Outside veterans, does he give intimidating presence?
Yeah,
Yes. I think the problem with this list is that you don't want to engage with these units really.
yeah,
You just want to bombard the enemy with those panic tests, which you will chuck out a lot.
yeah.
Um, so who was the commander again? Was it
Jamie.
Jamie?
Yeah, Jaime Lannister in gold cloak. So
Jamie Jamie's cards are about himself. Yeah, I think the order from the gold cloaks obviously helps the red cloaks.
yeah,
So there's some synergy there, but this army can't really stand up to like lance cavalry or like the previous Targaryen list we saw, which
mhm,
which all of those Targaryen units had really excellent morale, and they'll just come at you and chop you to pieces.
yeah,
Because none of these units will stand toe to toe
yeah,
against any good melee troops.
yeah. And it only takes Olenna to turn off Joffrey to make the whole list void anyway.
Crumble, true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Um, and second list, Adam Marbrand, Warrior Sons, Lannister Guards with Aerys, who gives them protection of the crown. And
Hmm.
Castle Honor Guard, Meryn Trant, he'll be the token one, yeah. Um,
This
Lannister
is quite
Halberds.
defensive.
Second,
This is quite defensive.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I really like Jamie Lannister in Halberdiers. I was speaking to Kjo
Yeah,
when the last changes came out, and he was talking about and he's the set for charge, the martial training, the stalwart. It just makes him just a a brutal unit for 5 points because with that 1 point attachment.
Yeah, I played against that combo yesterday, and I was luckily able to run around it with my Targaryens, and eventually the Thor's Riders killed them off. But it's a great combo for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And House Glade Mountains member Manda Moore, he's the guy that gives them +1 to hit, right? +1 to hit and
Yeah,
sundering. Nice.
and of course Joffrey's there to guarantee that.
Yeah, yeah. Great NCU, Joffrey. I mean, if someone as a start player, someone could give me an NCU that always guaranteed me having the swords or horses, I'll be all over that.
Who was the commander in this list?
Adam Marbrand.
Okay.
Yeah.
That still give the Warriors sort of double hardened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah,
it easier.
very defensive. I think this list would be extremely good in Game of Thrones, Honed and Ready, and that kind of 5 objective games. This would really rock.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Tyrion bringing a lot of cards and extra counter plots. So I think this can really deny things as well.
Awesome.
Would not be a nice list to play against.
It's war. Nothing's funnier.
Yeah. Well, when you face Lannisters, you don't expect to have fun.
It's true.
Barely survive.
Okay, cool. Let's just quickly flick through some of these, get to some Martells, just so people watching that can see us play the list. So, yeah, a really heavily R'hllor list for Axel Florent. Again, the R'hllor
Quite
faithful with
quite
Priestess.
similar what we saw previously. Yeah.
Yeah,
This looks like it's kind of a template kind of
yeah,
roller list. Yeah.
yeah,
But probably strong.
yeah,
Probably quite strong. And another strong Courtney Penrose list.
yeah. We've seen quite a lot of Stag Knights, which is quite nice because we didn't see them for quite a long while. It's nice to see them being run out again.
What does Bryce Cadden do again? Protection of the crown, maybe.
Taunts.
No, taunt. Yeah, makes sense.
Robo
Makes
Royce
sense indeed.
gives you the reckless strikes and furious charge.
Mm-hmm.
Fulmich Sentinel was a great 1 point attachment now. That Dauntless Furious Charge and Pathfinder, great attachment for 1 point.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah,
And there's Shira there to remove the weaken token from Sentinels, which could weaken token on those Sentinels could be really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, especially robots sitting in them. Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. We'll jump into Jack Stevens' Targaryen list. So we've got Marsland in Archers.
Mm-hmm. I think this is pretty valid because Marcellen's benefits also shooting attacks, the +1 to hit.
Yeah.
As soon as he has 2 tokens, so that's valid. And of course, Miri must do to remove the weaken token.
Yeah.
Hopefully, a lot of shooting, 3 shooting units and a dragon.
Yeah. 2 dragons.
Oh, 2 dragons. Interesting.
And Daenerys Targaryen Unburnt, give him an extra attack as well.
How many NCUs?
2.
Only 2.
Part pre as well, so he opens up the second. Up the
There will be 6 zones available, and you only play 2 NCUs. I don't agree with that, but unit wise quite strong. A lot of shooting, and if the enemy then approaches, you counter with 2 dragons. So
yeah,
that's pretty decent.
Visarin's a strange choice. Out of all the dragons, we tend to see him taking the least, just because that vulnerable token being less valuable than the panics or the weakened.
The vulnerable token probably helps with all the shooting you have.
Yeah.
Because there's no problem shooting into a melee with the dragon in there, because probably the dragon won't fail the panic test anyway.
Yeah.
So the vulnerable helps those shooting units to perform.
Nice. Second list, Belwas commander. When was the last we saw Belwas as a commander?
Quite rarely. I think Belwas is the only Targaryen commander I've never won with.
Yeah.
So that's still on my bucket list.
Yeah.
The problem with him is that he has excellent retaliation cards, but the enemy can just avoid you.
Yeah.
And I really like this Brazen Beast Grey Worm combo because it's such a great benefit that you charge from the Sentinel, you heal some other unit with Grey Worm, and Grey Worm brings two abilities, Rally Cry and Boldness and Courage.
Yeah.
So the Brazen Beast will really hit quite hard.
Yeah.
Again, this is, I think this is a pretty decent list against low armor units. Of course, you have one dragon there as well,
Yeah.
yeah, same two NCUs here.
Same. 3 NCUs here
Oh,
as well.
there's three. At least there's three. Yeah,
Yeah. Um.
he's that on Build. They have some synergy
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. It's a good way of sort of burning through the opponent's deck, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Nice. Quickly go through Ryan Dells. So another Bell West commander. So two Bell West commanders in a tournament.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that? What is?
This is really interesting.
I got
The spam of all spams.
yeah. If Ryan's in the chat, what are you doing? It's 4 units of it's 4 units of Stormcrow mercenaries with unsullied officers, and sorry, 5 units of Stormcrow mercenaries.
The question is that he actually has to own five units of Stormcrow mercenaries, so
Yeah.
he obviously has too much money on his hands.
Yeah. Well, mate, to be fair, mate, he's got to own 5 unsullied officers as well. That's a that's 5 boxes of sword masters just to get an officer.
Well, I think you can use another unsullied swordmaster model for that, but 5 units of Stormcrow mercenaries. That's I think you really want to make sure that your opponent doesn't control the backs.
He's got. Oh, yeah, he's not even got Peter Baelish as an NC. I thought
Yeah,
Peter Baelish would have been like a obvious choice there.
yeah,
Oh, mind you,
absolutely.
it's when your opponent doesn't control coin. Yeah. Well, that the opponent is going to have to grab those bags every turn, right?
Exactly, because otherwise you attack so many times and you just keep on rerolling,
Yeah.
which obviously these guys need to reroll
Yeah.
with the 4-up and no keywords.
Yeah.
So they need to attack a lot to really destroy anything, which they will obviously do. How many points does he have on attachments?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Yes. So that's like a 6 point spent on extra spent on attachments. I would have dropped at least one of those Stormcrow mercs
Yeah.
and freed 6 points to have the third NCU, obviously Peter Baelish, and then something with Sundering, for example.
Well, they're
But
they're
yeah,
they're
this is
adaptive, right?
interesting.
They're adaptive, so he's got all them for free.
Oh, that's true. No, well, not three. Oh, yeah, that's 4 more points. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's actually he's only paid like 2 points
Yeah.
beyond the what is free.
Yeah.
Okay, then it makes more sense.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Really interesting list.
Yeah. I wonder if
Oh,
I wonder if he actually owns the stuff and he's actually going to run it at the weekend, or if it's just a meme list to put there, just to scare his
yeah,
opponent.
maybe he's borrowing some stuff
Yeah.
from friends.
Yeah. His second list is Marsland in the Stormcrow Archers again. Atrise Recaro, Atrise Kofo, two
Looks like a
dragons.
copy from the list we just saw.
Yeah.
Quite equal, quite the same.
Yeah. I think the one he said we've got Mass Missandei instead of Pipe Pre, and we've got Drogon instead
Yeah,
of Viserion. But other than that, yeah, I think it's carbon copy.
and I think Missandei obviously is there to take the followers of the dragon card. So if you get to start the game, you
Yeah.
immediately play that card and you go to the swords and you get one more activation because you bring a unit of freedmen to the table And how many activations is this then? Is it already 9?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, bring 2 more.
Okay, it
2
brings
more.
it to 8. Okay, with 8 activations, this is potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
What it doesn't have is healing.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's not even got the Blood Rider that gives you fuel by slaughter.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than
Mirimas Dur and Marcelen's supply aid card.
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how Ryan does in. That'd be interesting. It's nice to see. Um, he hasn't gone heavily on the Blood Riders on the list. He's gone for something slightly different. I'm really interested. I hope we get to see the Stormcrow army on stream. Hopefully,
Yeah, yeah. I hope it'd be interesting to see that which list will he use. How many games will this be?
6
How many
games,
rounds?
so six rounds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that'd be interesting. That's one to watch.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, Next up we have Kieran Scadden running Night's Watch. Just quickly scan over this. So we got Shadow Tower Spearman Jon Snow, 2 inch Vanguards, 1 with Watch Marshal, 1 with Cold Hands. Shadow Tower Spearman Watch Captain, Aemon, Dennis, and Jack and Agar. Yeah, pretty standard Night's Watch list. This one's quite nice with two,
Hmm.
with the double
Hmm.
Spearman in it, Corin Halfhand
Yep,
and
yep.
Alison. Yeah, nice. Very nice, well-rounded uh, Night's Watch lists. Second list.
Another very hard to kill night watch list indeed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No range in the second list. Any range in the first list? No range in any of the armies at all.
True, true.
Um, nice. Mark Consul, Mark
Do you
Evans,
think
Consul
do you
Monkey.
think that the meta is shifting away from all that shooting that we used to see?
I don't know because I think range units I always feel like I have to have one to threaten the
Agree.
first activation, open with swords and be able to do something with it, take it from the opponent. And I think there's a lot of lists, especially with the increased use of attachments now. There's lots of relentless knocking around, lots of stuff that you don't
Mm-hmm.
really want to engage. So I think there's a lot of point to having range
Yeah.
units, but I don't think it is as as undiluted as it was before. I think there's a lot more scope for other lists now. But me personally,
Mm.
I would be still be worried about leaving home without at least a range unit.
I agree. Especially Nightwatch is an army you want to be shooting at
Yeah,
because of veterans and what have you. So
yeah,
I would expect a player who faces those lists to absolutely choose a list with at least one shooter,
yeah,
and then but then again the list had two Vanguard units, so I think they can sort of handle that.
yeah. Charles Woods just put in a chat. Maybe it's because a lot of factions lack a good attachment that enhances range units. I think that's valid.
True,
Yeah. Um,
true.
if you look at Hot Pie is absolutely stunning in Brotherhood Bat Banners. Just to activate, take the token off, and go. I think,
Yeah,
and we see him quite a lot. So
yeah, and then we discussed Grey Worm earlier. I always play Grey Worm in a shooting unit because he brings boldness and courage.
yeah,
I guess there are some other are there some other commanders that would bring boldness and courage? Maybe probably there is. Just don't remember right now. But
yeah.
that is obviously a good thing to put in a ranged unit.
Renly has it right. Renly, the commander, has it.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
cool. Okay. We'll quickly bounce through these because there's a lot of lists to get through. So you got Mark Evans, Constant Monkey running Bolton. So Ramsey in Blackguards, Grunt in Blackguards, Still Shanks in Dreadful Archers, Damon Dance in Dreadful Spearmen, Glory Seeker in Flamemen. Yeah, it's a good list. And again, same in the next list. Roos and Grunt in
Yeah,
Blackguards, Flamemen.
Blackguards and Grant it sounds like a really good combo.
Yeah, yeah. It just makes them just a super defensive unit. Horrific Visage goes
Yeah,
in there, you attack, you resilience it, and then you're basically taking the sting out of their tail, I think just Blackguards are better in the grind with Visage.
yeah, and the Heraldic Visage will stay strong because of resilience.
Yeah, Flavin's still a good unit. Bastard Girls with Damn Dance Me, Driftwood Spearman, Walder Frey, Ramsey, yeah, so they're
So
decent enough.
Thor Alan in Drefford Spearman, I think that's a terrible idea because they hit so badly anyway, and then this guy will give them two wounds. So I would never do that. But then again, they need some buff to do anything.
Yeah,
But then again, he doesn't have Cheney Poole, so the Dreadford Spearman will just run away
mm,
with the moral 7. So
yeah.
they will die very very fast.
Yeah, it does seem strange because if you need sundering, you get it from the harsh punishments card, but you the critical blows, okay. The Finn became panicked. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think that once again, this is a good example of people trying out different things.
yeah,
So hats off.
yeah. Cool. Okay. Next up, we have Alex Ray running Baratheons, Eldon Commander in Wardens, Rose Knights, Reformed Sentinel, Stag Knights of Brienne, Champions of the Stag. First time we see them in this tournament.
Oh,
Uh,
true.
Sentinel with Robar Royce.
Hmm.
I've come over to him before. And then we get Alistair Marjorie Tyrell. Commander Stannis with Kingsmen. Yeah, that's a pretty standard.
Devon is now making also an appearance. I think he's free with Stannis
Yeah, yeah,
and Reckless Heroism with the Movement 6 unit is pretty nice.
yeah,
And I think Devon is now totally playable. I would even pay 1 point with those two abilities. I would
yeah.
happily pay one. So I think this is a strong list.
A true conviction
What
now is a great rule, isn't it? A true now it's
it is
equal
it's
to
really good.
yeah,
So he has actually three copies of True Conviction in that list.
yeah,
Davos, Devon, and Brian all bringing that. That's
yeah.
really strong.
Nice. Alice Florent, Lord Varys' NCUs, nice lists. Steve Butler, Dartman, again another Baratheon list. Raining Renly in Waldens, Brienne, Guard Morgan was do. Catch right Darkness, yeah. Robo Royce in Pikeman, Highguard, yeah.
At
Uh,
least we see one Courtney NCU here, finally.
yeah. Stannis in Stag Knights. Devon in again. We see Devon again in Kingsmen. Obviously,
Hmm.
Kingsmen a really nice, devastating unit. If we see them, we hope to see Alistair Florent as well, which we do.
First copy of Celis and Shireen.
Yeah. Golden Company Crossman with Davos. Gift of True Conviction, giving the rerolls, I guess.
No, because it's not a Baratheon unit.
Oh, yeah, true, very true, yeah.
That's a weird combo because you don't really want to supply aid from the Golden Company,
No, I wonder if
and you don't get the benefit from True Conviction.
yeah, I wonder if it was just maybe a mischoice on the because he felt he got True Conviction, maybe. Not
Yeah,
sure.
could be. Yeah.
Kyle with another brother list. So let's see. Does this tick your boxes, Teemu? Correct, Darian?
Yeah, I think Thornwatch is definitely a unit to put Beric into,
Yeah.
unless you're doing it with Kingsman,
Mhm.
which I guess obviously is always the right choice. How many activations? How many
Two, three,
NCUs?
four, five, six, seven, eight. Eight with three NCUs.
Yeah, okay. I would I would put Gendry in the peasants
Yeah,
instead, and I would replace the men at arms with the Bowmen with Hot Pie.
yeah,
But it is not a bad list. It's a strong list anyway. And yeah, with that combo of Beric and Thornwatch, you can really run around
yeah. Nice.
because you have Sentinel, you have assault orders, and when you attack someone, you retreat. So you can. Yeah, I think the enemy really needs to be aware of that movement.
Yeah. And the second list, just going back to Grindheim in the chat. Now, I think, it's the third Brotherhood list that we've seen so far.
Hmm.
Might be the fourth. There's definitely plenty to go on. It's a second list team. Look,
Yeah,
Catelyn Stark in Bloody Mama Skirmishers. First time we see Bloody Mama Skirmishers in this tournament.
indeed, indeed. yeah, that could be something because that's also a kind of a topic unit, and Caitlyn is definitely a psychological weapon there, so you don't want to charge them.
Yeah,
And of course we see the Caitlyn Stark with the price of failure card and the Lance Cavalry, which is
yeah,
like we discussed in the faction overview, is my favorite combo. Um, Gendry Men at Arms, yep, we see that again. That could be a decent bunker. There, okay, there we have the archers with hot pie, so that's
mm,
that's a decent
yeah.
combo indeed. Is it only two NCUs?
3,
Oh, three. Yep, this is a strong list for sure.
awesome. Is it,
And eight activations, which is nice.
do you think this is the strongest Brotherhood list we've seen so far, or the combo pairing?
Was there a better Kingsman list? That's always the
There has,
strongest. But this is a good one.
yeah. I don't think there has been yet. We haven't seen Beric in Kingsman yet, have we?
Yeah, could be indeed.
George Blake running Starks, another Rob Stark. Rob Stark is coming out quite a lot in this new update. Um, yeah,
Are we seeing Arya Stark here? Because this list calls for Arya Stark. Of course it
yeah,
does.
yeah. She's there. Um, yeah, Bastard Girls of Rob and Cranagman. Cranagman Bog Devils, a great John and Cranagman Survivalist. I really like the combination of Bog Devils, Rob Stark, and Cranagman Survivalist. It's a great combo. But
Great John brings what
to
to
the
the last
last,
and
Furious Charge.
Furious Charge.
Furious Charge combo is
Interesting.
nice because you put the vulnerable token out, then poison them, so they're getting the poison
Yeah,
hit straight
true.
away. Yeah.
And also the Granakman survivalist is pretty cool
Yeah.
because Granakmans have this Swiss retreat order as well,
hmm
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so that's a good synergy for sure.
tokens for days. Tokens for days there. Um,
And yeah, they give that considering what to do with that scout opening in this list. Are they using it for themselves or for bastard girls?
yeah, 'cause you haven't really got. It's got to be the Bastard Girls, surely, because the Bastard Girls will give it to
Hmm.
you for the shot and the attack, won't they? For the whole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then they can quite easily, once again, there's Kanakman survivalist. So they will be re-rolling their attacks no matter what.
yeah, nice. Cast Dark Spearmen, Cast Outriders, yeah, nice. Second
And
list.
maybe that list is a little bit all over the place. I'm not sure what the Karstark Spearmen do there, because otherwise this is really moving around.
Hmm,
So then there's like one anchor unit, which is not fast, which is meant to take in the charge. So maybe the idea is to sort of trap the enemy, to use them as a bait, the
yeah,
Karstark Spearmen, and then everybody else runs around you.
yeah, yeah. A second list. We got Brendan Tully, Blackfishing, Swan Shields, Bowman, Walden, Dervishes with Rickard Karstark, Survivalist. Outriders, Winterfell Guardian, Grey Wind, Sansa, Rob. I'll tell you what's quite nice. No Tully Cavaliers in either list.
Mm. Now we see a very strong combo with Stormcrow Dervises and
Yeah,
those two attachments, because Rickard Karstark is pretty strong.
yeah, yeah,
But he should be in Berserkers.
yeah. You mentioned that before. Yes, that's definitely a good combo. Uh, and Winterfell Guardian in Sword Side Stark Outriders. Um, Winterfell Guardian really helps in the grind. You don't expect the Stark Outriders to be sitting in the grind really, but
Mm.
be interesting to see.
But do they really want to grind? Not really.
No,
Dark Outriders, they're still a support unit with Tac Repo. So I don't think that's the best combo. But I
yeah,
think this is also a good example of people trying out new things. But hey, it's getting kind of late here
yeah,
in Finland.
yeah,
So let's check out at least one Martel list. And
yeah. So Dave Morris. So we got Martels here. So Scan Skirmishers, Gerald Dane, Quentin Martell, Outriders, Scan Skirmishers, Spearlord, Eric Dane. Yes, standard stuff that we expect to see from Martels nowadays.
this is really strong. And Gerald Dane with Quentin Martel in skirmishes. This is the new thing.
Yeah,
This is really strong. Uh, they can outflank and then Gerald's cards give you a march or a maneuver in the start of the turn if there's no other friendly units within 12
Yeah.
within long range. And then you outflank, and suddenly you are behind the enemy skirmishers, and then you have the cavalry, the other skirmishers, and the dervishes to join in from the front.
Yeah.
And this is really scary.
Yeah.
This is a really really good one.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's
Of,
only a
of,
couple of Martell players in the entire tournament, so
mm,
yeah,
I'm expecting a lot from this list.
you are. Yeah.
Absolutely, and Obara also bringing Sundering to Stormcore Dervishes. So
Yeah.
Stormcore Dervishes, if they get a flank charge, they give all the tokens.
Yeah.
They always give vulnerable 7 attacks, 3 up with Thundering. So that is a scary unit.
Yeah. Definitely. And the next list we've got Harmon Ola list. Dune Vipers, Eldritch Dane, Starfall Outriders, 2 inches of spin with swimming captains. Lots of weaken being thrown out there.
Yes.
Stormcrow Dervishes, Arrow Hotar, Ilaria, Doran, and Peter Baelish. Doran Martell now as a 4-point NCU is crazy good. I love him at 4 points. But yeah, what do you think of
This
this
is
list?
also Yeah, this is also one to watch. I think Dune Vipers at 5 points, they definitely need Edric Dane to give them rerolls.
Yeah,
Otherwise, they're kind of hit like wet noodles kind of thing.
yeah,
They have gang up, so that could work nicely with staff or outriders if you can get that. I think the big question mark with this list is that will of course the thing with the battle plan is that the Marta deck is so good.
yeah,
So, but so okay, um, in some cases it's a great value to get the card, the best card at the right time. But then again, Doran Martel can really, really mess up with the Martels. If the opponent is smart and takes the Water Gardens, then the Martel player could be in trouble.
yeah, yeah. Well, hang on.
So
1, 2, 3,
this is
4,
a kind
5.
of a risk and a reward list.
Yeah, 8 activation seems to be the sort of like where things are now certainly in
Yeah,
this tournament.
yeah.
Um,
Haven't played Martels a while, but the lists I've been building, I've been trying to build a really good 8 activation Martel list, and
yeah,
that's something I probably want to try out next.
yeah.
I hope none of my Finnish friends are listening to this because now they know what I'm planning.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I mean, did you need to get off? Because I mean, I can just go for the last little bits myself if you need to get off and do stuff.
Yeah, I can stay for 5 more minutes, and then I call it a night.
Yeah, let's do 2 more lists. So let's do Mickey,
Yeah, let's do Mickey.
Free Folk,
Hmm.
Baromir, Shadowcat, Wolfpack, Bunal's Chosen, Rattleshirt, and Harmer. Then, yeah, I mean, it's
Millions of activate.
yeah, yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 activations in that list.
Yeah, yeah, but Borak is the Bor is not a separate
Yeah,
activation, but
yeah,
10 activation. And Mickey knows how to play this stuff. So
yeah, yeah. Um,
if he gets his endless horde cards fast, then this is quite unbeatable in many scenarios.
yeah. Um,
How is the other list? Okay, we have the mag.
yeah, it's going for the Monster Mash list. Mag
Yeah.
Smash.
Well, he said Mag Smash so many times in the faction review, so I guess he just has to play him.
Well, mate, you had 4 hours to do it, so it was all
Yeah,
good.
it was like 20 times Mag Smash,
Mag
but it
Smash.
was it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was good. It was good
So
conversation.
cheers for Mickey.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it's a nice list. Uh,
Mm.
Loads of activations, loads of giants, so it's all good. And running the Savage Giant as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah, yeah, and Mans Raider adaptive, this 5 point Mans Raider NCU. I think it's a good combo with this
Yeah,
because it will do the chip damage, and then Mag or the Savage Giant, and a lot of activation, and they combo, and with the chip damage already there, I
yeah,
think they can destroy things.
yeah, Yeah, nice.
And Lady Val and Ygritte makes Mag move so fast.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a good one. Mickey has really strong lists.
yeah,
I expect him to be high up
yeah,
high up
definitely.
in the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. Um, okay, cool. Let's pick one more for you. Who should we look at? Let's look at
That's interesting with the Mage Mormont, the bottom
Mage Mormont.
stack.
Let's look at that. Mage Mormont in Berserkers. Obviously getting the most out of Battle Scars.
Yeah, makes sense.
Carstark Spearman with Rickon Stark and Usher with Shaggy Dog. Tay Cavaliers with Guardian. Spawn Shield is a great number, making them a really hard to kill unit.
Yeah,
And
this is
Santa.
the second time we see Lyanna Mormont,
Hmm.
which after I think is it only after one unit has died she gives critical blows.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Because yeah, it gives
So
Tay Cavaliers a bit of punch.
yeah, yeah. Usually I would play Tally Cavaliers if I would take Lyanna, but what there was no Tally Cavaliers.
There was.
Oh, there is, there is,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
is. Okay, that's a smart combo, and of course you can use Shaggy Dog as a suicidal missile,
Yeah.
and which cards
So she
does
comes with
Mage bring?
uh
There's this supply aid kind of card.
yeah,
There's stay alive card.
sustained assault.
Yeah, never mind that. But uh, here we stand could be quite deadly with Shaggy Dog because Shaggy Dog will be very very aggressive with 3 wounds in,
Yeah.
and also I think that's good card for to keep your Tally Cavaliers alive, keep your Berserkers alive while you wait a little while to heal them up again.
Yeah.
So I think this has potential too.
Yeah.
Did it have Arya Stark as an attachment?
Yeah. As
Yes,
Vinci, yeah, yeah.
yes, makes
Um,
sense.
and Rob again. Um,
Yeah,
Rob was one of the higher pick. I think he was the highest pick commander in this tournament. I think 6 choices. Um,
yeah. There was Beric, Rob, and Mac the Mighty.
yeah.
Surio is a surprising attack because they totally reworked him and he's still not good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But
Mm.
again, people try new things. You've got to give them credit to give it a go as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But here we finally see the Berserkers with Rickard Karstock, and that is a strong combo for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And Catelyn
And
Arya.
Jojen Reed was in which unit? Okay, Stark.
Small swords.
Why not Archer? Stark Bowman, of
Yeah.
course, would be 1 point more, but
Yeah.
I would bring him with the ranged unit.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, it has potential for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet. Okay, man. Well, I'll let you get off, and then I'll just skim through the others. But yeah, thanks so much for your time. I know it's obviously it is your birthday, so I appreciate your time even more so today. Happy birthday once again.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
And hopefully we'll get you back on again soon. We'll let's get the cameras on again. Get you back on the screen.
Yeah,
So
I'll
we
and,
can
and
play.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks and
Yeah.
wherever you live.
Yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad. Right. Okay,
Look,
dude.
look, looking forward to that. Good night.
Yeah. Take care, mate. We'll speak to you soon. Cheers, Timu.
Yeah. Happy gaming, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys. So yeah, obviously Timo's ducked out. So thanks again, massive thanks to Timo for having jumping on, especially during his birthday. I'm just gonna quickly skim through his list with you. Um, again, uh, so where were we? Um, let's look at the David West, Lucas Eden. Lucas obviously quite high up the Southern Grand Tournament, running Roose Bolton in Blackguards. Yeah, jump on card if you want. Have you got access to the EAGT channel? Um, got Bolton Flame Man with Glory Seekers ×2, Bolton Cutthroats, Ramsey Snow and Theon, Tycho. Um, so last time we see Lucas, he was running Baratheon, so it's nice to see that he's mixing up, trying to get some different stuff involved. Um, A second list again, Bruce Bolton again. So two lists for Bruce Bolton. This one obviously a lot more aggressive. With a widow. I'm joking. Yeah. Jacob Bailey, obviously known for playing free folk. He's been playing Greyjoy for quite a while. Now running back to running free folk. Rattleshirt Commander again. Then Warriors for Boys Clan Chieftain. Obviously giving him resilience. Again, another massive activation list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 activation list. Again, paired with a Mag Commander list. Very similar, if not identical to Mickey's. Okay, Tom Linton. So he's running now. Over Martell and Sunsbury. Is this the first time we've seen Sunsbury Royal Guard? I think it is the first time, probably the only time, because I think there's only 2 Martell players in the entire tournament. With Oberyn Edric, Starfall Outriders, House Bolton Blackguards with Dervish captaining. Disrupt up and keep stuff alive a bit longer. Get more value from the Visage and Sand Skirmish of Spearlord, Aaron Martell or Varys Ilaria Sand. Over Martell and Stormcrow Dervishes, nice. Living a Stormcrow Dervish dream. Woohoo! Sand Skirmishers with Spearlord, Edric Dane, another unit of Sand Skirmish, High Hermitage Sentinel. That's a combo really backed up by Jordan in the last faction overview. We did with Martell, Scourge Bowman. I think possibly the first time, only time we're going to see Scourge Bowman in this list, this tournament. That's good lists. Naz, running Night's Watch this time. 2 stone throwers. You are an absolute animal. There is no need to do that. Off for Yarrick. Probably people looking to close the gap quite quickly to put the odds back in their favour. And the second list being with Cotter Pike, Swan Brothers. Yeah, really nice lists. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to just go over a couple more, and then we're going to call it on this because I'm going to got to do the lanyards for tomorrow as well. But it's a great list. The tournament's open now. If you guys want to check it out, have a little look through it. We've gone through a lot of it. Is anyone else? Let's check out Oliver Baldwin, one of the Women's Northwest, running Boltons. 2 of Blackguards, unit of Triple Archers. Yeah, some really nice lists. And Brad Blackburn, 4-inch Tally Cavaliers. You're doing that again, Brad, are you? 4-inch Tally Cavaliers, Winterfell Guardians, you savage. And Eddard, his second list. Graxes, yeah. Solid list, mate, very solid lists. Yeah, okay, guys. Right, I'm going to call it there because I want to get doing these lanyards for tomorrow. I'll do that. That's my thingy there. Let's get back on it again. Right, I'm going to shoot off. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Been some great viewers. Obviously, it's thanks for sort of bearing with the technical difficulties I had setting up. Obviously, we didn't get the video footage, which is a bummer, but I'll work on that going forward. EAGT starts tomorrow for the social side of it, but starts Saturday morning. We'll be streaming every single game for you. We'll be doing the debrief stuff on the end of it all in the following week. But please do come along, check out the streams. I'll be doing our best to make it the best streamings that we've ever had so far, providing the cameras work for me. Again, massive thanks to Teemu for coming along and checking this out. If I had more time tonight, I would definitely have sat and gone through all of your lists with you. The unfortunate thing is I just need to get the lanyards sorted out for tomorrow because obviously I couldn't finalise them until you guys had locked your list, and list lock was at 7 o'clock. No, it wasn't. It was at 6 o'clock. The stream was at 6, 9, 7. Oh, do you know what? It's late. Let me get this done. I'll see you all tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, I am thoroughly looking forward to spending the weekend with every single one of you. I think it's going to be a great weekend. And it doesn't matter that we're playing Song of Ice and Fire. We could be playing Star Wars Legion. this is the fact I get to spend it with you guys just makes this weekend probably one of the most specialist weekends that we've had this year. So cheers, guys. Thanks for buying tickets. Cheers for coming along. I'll catch you either tomorrow afternoon at the bar or Saturday morning with Dice. Take care. I will speak to you soon. Big love.